Welcome back, everyone, to the Complete Pineleaf. I have arrived here at Helm's Gate to Gambling the Old, and it looks like I got here before they closed the gates. Hello there.
We have need of you. There is still much to be done.
I had not thought to see you again, Pineleaf. Hurry, friend, hurry! I must lock the gate at once, for our last scout says that the enemy is hot on your heels. From whence did you come? Nay, never mind. It must be a story for another time. Ride! Ride! Ride to the Hornburg! Ride to the Hornburg. All right, fine. Fine. I'll take you literally this time, and I will head over and offer my sword to Theoden. Well, actually, I think my spear to Theoden would probably be more fitting. Bingo, get inside. I think things are going to get rough in a moment. Let's get to the Hornburg, find out who's in there, and actually finding. Let's see. Iowoon, Igawoon, some of these Rohirric names I just can't get right. I suppose we would have to ask someone like Professor Drought how he would pronounce that name, and that would give us a better idea on that. Now, let's see. We need to find Theoden, and let's see. Oh, yes, there's also this epic story thing that I haven't done anything with for a while. Hello there, Hama.
The tides of war bring you once again to the king's shore, my friend.
No, this time I will not take your weapons or keep you from seeing Theoden. Now I'm pleased that you're here, and I hope that your skill in battle is as great as I'm told. Daerwinna and I keep the reinforced seek to reinforce the doors of this guardhouse, but it is to be hoped that the forces of Saruman do not get this far into the deep. Still, it is good to be prepared. All right. Well, I met Leofert and Brockenbridge, and the door word sighs heavily. Thank you for the news of my father. He has been in poor health for many years, but I am glad to know that he thinks of his son from time to time. He is often in my thoughts. If there were some measures of glory to be had in the hours ahead, I hope it is my lot to make Leofert proud. Hmm. Well, what do you say, Darwin?
We must hope Saruman's armies do not breach the dike. These doors will not hold long.
Yes, we're trying to reinforce the doors, but there is not enough sturdy wood in the deep. Everything is either rotted or dry and old. Brittle wood will not do us any good. We must hope that Gambling and the other soldiers are able to keep the armies of Saruman from breaching the dike, for these doors will not keep them for long. Hama says that I'm wrong. I hope he's right. So I also need to speak with Legolas and Siegfried, find Theoden, and I need to find the widow. I suppose I'll have to start with the most unpleasant of the tasks. Hello there, your ladyship.
These are desperate times for the Rohirrim.
I knew that he was gone, Pineleaf. At some point, I just knew. I do not know how. It is thanks to you that I was strong enough to face it, rather than paralyzed by fear. I will miss him more than anything. But at least now my grieving can begin, now that all hope of his return is truly gone. There's comfort in this letter. Thank you for this gift. Well, there were worse responses.
These are desperate times for the Rohirrim.
I do have one last favor to ask of you, though. I know the remainder of my people, and I did not part on the best of terms. I wish to know how Egonoth and the others fared when they went back to Martin. Will you search for them there? Be careful, dear friend. The enemy is strong. You want me to search for them? You have gotta be kidding! They're about to lock the gates! Alright, that has got to be the most maddening of quests to receive. I think I found Legolas at least. Hello there.
You should ask the king if there is aught you can do.
We meet once more, my friend. If you seek battle, you have come to the right place. But if you seek a good rest or peaceful quiet, you should leave this ravine at once. If the numbers reported by Theoden scouts can be trusted, the entire gorge will be filled with orcs before the moon is down. What's the current phase of the moon? Because then I could be able to compute about what time moonset will be. Never mind. From here, I will have a clear shot upon any foe who seeks to cross the flat plain before the deeping wall. Every arrow I shoot will spell death for one of our enemies. But which will I first exhaust, my arrows or my foes? I think you're going to need a bigger supply of arrows if you're going to have any hope of that being a fair question. All of us will have our part to play during the coming night. Yes, I think you need a barrel of a couple of thousand maybe in order to have any hope of being able to do that. Yeah.
These are the times that prove the strength of our hearts, are they not?
We are well met, my new friend. Yes, these are times that will prove the strength of our hearts. We're lucky to live in such times, for the opportunity to prove ourselves up to the task. Saruman's orcs will arrive at the dike, and if they are not defeated outright, they will push into the space before our walls. We will whittle down their numbers with arrows and with thrown spears, and they will shake their blades and gnash their teeth, and will have no choice but to turn away. The Hornburg has never been breached. It will not be breached tonight either. Well, I would say probably in any fair battle, one could probably be confident of that, considering that a place like the Hornburg, I would think, should be able to survive several months, perhaps, maybe even longer. I mean, some sieges in the medieval period took a pretty long time. Hello there, sir.
This is where I will make my stand. Let Saruman's armies come.
Welcome to the Hornburg, Pineleaf. This is where I'll make my stand. Saruman's forces will break upon our walls and will scatter from across the fields. There is no shortage of tasks to be done. The only thing we lack is time. The scouts tell me Saruman's forces will be here before the moon is high. Alright, one says before the moon is down, the other one says before it is high. Well, I suppose it'll be high before it goes down, so whatever. Maybe they don't have an agreement on what the current phase of the moon is. That's always a possibility. You have come to offer me your sword at this late hour? Good, I'm glad. Well, actually my spear, but that's besides the point. If we used the might of you as a warden, now more than ever, are you ready for war, Pineleaf? The likes of which have never been seen? Well, I suppose so. Ooh, boy, this is... I suppose that's a decent earring. Whee! New deed, survivor of the long night. Wonderful. You have arrived at Helm's Deep in time for the siege. Oh, wonderful. And what else must I do in order to survive the night? I guess that will be in Rovinian. I guess it. Doing that, yeah. Oh, okay. Here we go. Eastern Rohan, Wildermore, Western Rohan. Here we go. Survivor of the Long Night. I need to complete Epic Book 13, Helm's Dyke, atop the wall, defending the. Yeah, so I have to complete the next few chapters of the epic storyline in order to finish that up. Well, I suppose I'll be doing that one way or the other. Hello there, Aylmer.
You ride a fast steed, my friend.
Were you able to help my sister Eowyn? Yeah, I was able to help her on a number of matters. And how did you find my home of Alberg? Well, it was in need of a few repairs. Has Archila maintained the village as well as his father once did? He needs a little work there. I see. My uncle believes that this battle will be over quickly, but I'm not so certain. I hope he's right, though. There will be much work to do to restore the mark, even once the fighting is done. But first, we must survive the coming battle. Well, there is that. And what do you say?
My heart tells me that we are in for a long night.
I am glad to see you, my well-traveled friend. My heart tells me that we're in for a long night. The men of Rohan have sheltered in the Hornburg before, and its walls have never failed them. I have seen many points of weakness already, and we have not been here only been here for a short while. We must ensure that the fortress does not fall. If Rohan falls, I fear that the rest of Middle-earth will not stand long. Oh boy.
Weapons are in short supply.
Yes, Erkenbrand had a small amount of weapons for the garrison, but his men took most of the weapons and armor with them when they rode to the fords, and most of them have not returned. Theoden has called for the people of the Westfold to send as many iron goods as they could spare to the deep. It's not much, but we may be able to fashion weapons and crude armor from these iron goods in the hours that we have before the battle is joined. Search through one of the barrels of iron goods and sort through the contents on the nearby mat. Any strong iron could be useful, but we need to know what we have available. Iron goods. Iron goods. Oh, okay, these things. Alright, let's start sorting them away. Looks like all sorts of stuff. Alright, with a third of the goods set out, I see little of use. With most of them, I still see little of use. And with all the goods on the mat, I see 2 usable pieces. Alright, well, I guess that's better than nothing.
I have had an idea, friend.
Yes, while watching the men training, I realized something interesting. From a great distance, I could not tell if a man was training with a straw dummy or if his opponent was merely parrying his blows without a great deal of motion. If I, with the keen eyes of my people, could not tell the difference, what would one of Sauron's ill-bred minions make of it? I think we should carry those training dummies to the top of the wall, Pineleaf. It will make our numbers seem greater, and any arrow wasted upon a dummy is one which could have struck a fighting man. This is a trade worth any amount of heavy lifting, especially when it's the local hobbit who's doing all the heavy lifting. Right? Okay, fine. Oh, training dummies. Really? Oh, good grief. And how many of these do I have to carry? Oh well, let's go and bring these to Legolos. Let's see, where do I need to go? Oh, that's right down here. You set the dummy atop the wall and hope it'll draw the fire away from the defenders.
That is a clever idea, if it proves successful.
Unless Saruman's armies turn aside for some reason I cannot tell, they will arrive at Helm's Deep during the hours of darkness. They will not be able to tell the difference between the dummies and the defenders atop the walls until they get very near to the wall, and by then I will have claimed many lives of orcs. I spoke for a time with your friend Corridon. I met his sister when we stayed in Lothlorien. If Sigalith were here with her deadly knives, the orcs would have a great deal to fear. While I am wishing for unlikely happenstances, why not hope for the arrival of an army of my own kin? That would be a sight indeed. But they're far from here, and have their own concerns and their own lands to defend. The Rohirrim are on their own. They will have to make do with 2 elves, 1 dwarf, a hobbit, and a man. It is to be hoped that that will be enough. Oh, and speaking of Corridon, he wanted me to send you to him. He rode down to the dike and said that he wished to see the approaching armies with his own eyes. Really, Corridon? Really? Alright, I'll go and see you. After I collect some more dummies, I guess. Right? Oh, actually, I guess not. That's not what the quest wants me to do. Alright, let's go and find Corridon then. Hello there, Corridon. I heard that you had some sort of idea.
There you are, my friend. I am glad to see you before I leave.
I am going to ride from the dike and see what I can tell of Saruman's forces. There may be some weaknesses in their ranks that we'll be able to exploit, but until I see these armies on the march, all we have is rumor and fear. I will return before long and tell you what I have seen. And don't fear. I will return before the battle is joined, and perhaps with news that can help us. Stand strong and inspire the men of Rohan, Pineleaf. I know you will not let them down. All right. Well, good luck. What do you say?
Farmers of the Westfold have brought more iron goods for us.
I have been fortunate so far, Pineleaf. Farmers from the Westfold have brought more goods for us. Carry one of these barrels of iron goods to your friend Aragorn outside the walls of the Hornburg. He has been sorting through the barrels for anything of use for preparing the defenses. Well, yes, I've heard such rumors. Oh, good. I'm a prisoner in Isengard. What do? I carry big barrels of iron. I am trying to help the people at Underharrow. And Ellen Frivedon, who didn't particularly like me at the time, what did she want to do? She had me carry big barrels full of iron things. So I reached Helm's Deep, where I have been doing an exhaustive and exhausting search in order to find help so that we could have any hope of this. And I've gone around further than anyone else in here and probably have the right to be the most tired. What do they ask me to do? Carry heavy barrels of iron goods. If I fall asleep in the middle of the battle, believe me, it won't be my fault. Now, where am I supposed to bring these? Oh, there you go.
Thank you for bringing this all the way up here.
Yes, I'm glad that more barrels of iron are coming into the deep, but there is no certainty that we will be able to make use of their contents. It's worth the wager, though. Thank you for bringing this all the way up here. Oh, and I get a ring of anticipation. Anticipation of what? Probably of an upcoming battle. That would be a most likely guess.
The next few hours will sorely test us all, but none more than the King of Rohan.
Yes, none but King Rohan. I will be Theoden's resolve. It will take be Theoden's resolve as much as the strength of the fighting men that will govern our chances of survival tonight. He will not speak plainly to me, or to any of us, on this matter. It is not his way, nor the way of most who rule. Find Galeowine, and ask him what he makes of the king's mood and temperament. I cannot tell if the king is putting on a brave face, but Galeowine has served him for many years, and will know better than I the truth of this. I last saw the minstrel below us, by a pile of straw near the western wall. All right. I will go and speak with Galeowine. Hello there, my friend.
There is a map on the table over there. Will you show me how the battle will progress?
I saw the king not long ago, and he seemed to be in fine spirits, Pineleaf. He's not blind to danger, but he does not ignore it either. His is not bravery without cause, but courage based on confidence in his men and his own strength. He is sheltered too long in his own hall, and now that he emerges and sees battle, he is ready for it. I do not think Aragorn should worry about my king. Theoden will surprise him when this battle is upon us. Ah, I speak of battle, but I am a minstrel, and I know little of strategy or tactics. You have seen more of wars than I have, and this old man counts himself fortunate. There's a map on the table over there. Will you show me how the attack will progress while we wait? A map of what is to come when we go into Helm's Deep. And by the time I finish explaining this all to Galeowine, the battle will be fully upon us, which is where you'll find me in the next episode of The Complete Pineleaf.